Hi there, we're in Derbyshire. I think we're in Derbyshire, and we've come here to survey the hill behind us there, a hill called Chinley Churn. And what we're interested in, Chinley Churn has got a trig point, and the summit position may not be near the trig point, so what we're really going to do is survey the top of the hill and really just to locate the summit position. No other reason. I mean, the hill is a hump, no other status other than being a 450 metre hill.
Cheers, John. So Chinley Churn is in the background, and here's John and Graham. But we've also got a couple of colleagues with us today. Can I come and scare the both of you with my little digi camcorder? Yeah. Here's David, isn't it? David Gradwell. Where do you both live, David? Because Graham was saying it's not in the Lake District, is it?
Oh no, we live in Bolton.
In Bolton?
Can you not tell with the accent?
Well, I could tell it's a good Lancashire accent. Yeah.
Yeah, near Manchester for those not familiar.
Well, I've been to the Reebok, to an antique fair, but
right.
I think that's the only time I've ever been to Bolton.
Bolton Wanderers player.
So, well, it's not too far to come down here, is it? Really?
No, it's
where we're positioned now.
It's only an hour's journey for George and I.
And the nearest town to where we are, David, where would that be? Is it Whaley Bridge? That's quite close.
The nearest town?
Yeah.
Well, there's Hayfield, but that's not quite a town. Chapel-le-Frith, I think that's nearby too.
And we come through Glossop on our journey here.
Glossop.
Yeah. So, right, I'll go and visit George. I'll probably do a little bit more with you later on. Here's George. How's George this morning, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, well done. And John was saying it's just for summit position for this hill, isn't it, today, to look at? I think it's a hump in Mark Jackson's list. But, yeah, I've been looking forward to meeting you, George. One of the editors.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll whiz back and I'll probably do a little bit more recording later.
Okay.
Cheers both. Thank you.
Back to the first programme, but actually I thought they'd struck up a good
So there's Chinley Churn in the background, and we'll just stop recording now and we'll do a little bit more on our way up to the summit or when we get to the summit. Well, just arrived on the northern summit of Chinley Churn, and Graham's got the staff. John's at the level, just prodding around
815
to see what is the exact highest point. And here's David and George.
So that's what, 4 centimetres, isn't it?
Before coming today, I believe David said to John, I'll come along on the walk as long as I'm not interviewed. Now, you just told me a little story, haven't you, David, about looking at Chinley Churn and wondering which is the very highest spot. So how did that come about?
Well, it's due, there's 4 Gradwell brothers who are mad keen hill baggers. George being one of them, of course, but there's also Edwin and Tom. But Edwin's not satisfied with the thousands of hills that have already been listed. He's now started listing his own. And we're by Bucket, Bill Bucket in the Lake District. He
Don't tell me if this
he listed hills that didn't have any real criteria, didn't he?
Yeah.
It didn't matter what drop they had or height difference between other hills. And my brother Edwin has done the same in the Peak District. And we call them Peak District Peaks, PPs for short. So this one was actually the north top of Chinley Churn, and we noticed that the contour on the north top was much bigger than the 450 metre contour on the Chinley Churn itself, where the trig pillar is, where everybody says is the summit. And we sort of came up to investigate and found it seemed higher, and that's why we're all here today, to find the truth of the matter.
So it could be, depending on obviously what we find now once accurately surveyed, it could be somewhat position move for a hump, couldn't it?
Yeah. That's what we think.
Yeah, because the only spot height, as you were sort of inferring, is against the trig on the southern high point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 451 metres on the trig point. But there's a little grassy hump at the side
Yeah,
that the Ordnance Survey, in their infinite wisdom, have put in brackets as 452 metres.
yeah,
One below it.
But
One below it, there's one above it. Yeah.
we have found a 457 metre spot height for the north top on an Ordnance Survey vector map that I didn't actually know anything about. So now we really are convinced that this is the highest point. But we're still going to survey it with the help of John and Graham.
because that'll be good, won't it, David, to
Yeah.
compare the process data once we survey this point with the vector mapping.
Yeah,
To see-
but it will be a good
Yeah,
experiment.
yeah.
It will.
I have to admit, I don't know whether that's been done before with vector mapping
yeah.
to put the GPS, the Leica
Great.
530 against it.
Graham did say that the vector mapping has an error, a possible error, plus or minus 3 metres.
Yeah,
But even if that error is at its extreme, it's still looking like this is at least 2 metres higher than
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the trig pillar is.
yeah. Well, cheers for that, David. I'm just going to whiz around just to get a little bit of a sort of a view of proceedings, but many thanks. You did pretty good there. First digi camera interview. So they've done a couple of readings against this northern summit, and if I just pan around slowly, I think in the background is part of Kinder. It's quite misty and murky, but we're clear of it up here, and you're now viewing the southern high point with the trig on, and it's quite lovely up here. It's very peaceful. We're under the flight path of Manchester Airport, so you have the occasional jet coming over. But there we go. David's just looking through the optics at the moment, so do a little bit of filming later on.
Now at the top of Chinley Churn, previously, right in the distance over there, about just under a kilometre away, there's a trig point, and that was believed to be the summit. But when David and George visited here, they were pretty certain that the position we were here, about 700 metres away, is the summit. So what we've done first is we've gone to this point here, and that point over there, and we've checked with Level and Staff to see which is the higher. We found that where the GPS is set up over there, that's about 4 centimetres higher than this point. So after that, we've set up the GPS over there, and now we're going to collect an hour of data to get an accurate measurement of the height of the hill.
And there's the GPS just in the background beyond John. Cheers, John. Thank you. I'll probably go walking straight into it now.
Don't knock it over.
So here's the keypad.
This is the boring bit now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're on the Scottish line.
We're now on the southern point of what's the name of the hill? Is it
Chinley Churn.
Chinley Churn? It's a good name, isn't it? And there's a trig here, so we're just checking the height of the flush bracket in relation to what is probably
Just write that down before I forget it.
the highest ground on this on the southerly part of this ridge. And looks as if there's an old quarry here, so this could be natural ground, or it could be part of quarry spoil. But if I come around to the back so you can see the optics as well, I'll probably fall down the ridge because it's quite steep down here. So there's the view of Graham with the staff and the trig, and just to the right of the trig you can see John at the level. I contemplate traversing around to the right, but I was guaranteed to slip and fall over, so I better not do that. So
Yeah, okay.
Graham, do you want to check the land close to the wall or not, or are we going to take this as the
Over here?
yeah?
Can do, yeah.
Oh.
Check out by the wall.
So there's a bit of land that looks on a par with where Graham's just been, and this is over by the wall, and in the distance to the right behind Graham is the what is probably the higher northerly summit of Chinley Churn. So we'll just take one. Yeah. Thanks, Graham. Just take a quick reading here. And I'll look back, and again you can see George and David and John at the trig. Then John will take the reading and note it against the 2 that he's already taken.
533.
So is this
Lower.
This is lower, so Graham was correct. Where we've just come from, that's the highest point of the southerly ridge of Chinley Churn. So by doing this, they've got the height difference between the highest ground and the flush bracket. And let's go and see what the discussion is.
Oh, that's the same. It's 0.50. That was 0.55. Oh, 0.55, so it's another 5 centimetres higher, lower over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how much higher is that?
It's from that point there. So you've got to add on, if you want to do it from the ground, then you've got to add on another 0.36 of a metre.
Oh, it's 0.33, not 3.3.
No,
Right.
0.3.
So that's actually about 0.6 of a metre higher than.
So that's why they rounded it off to.
So the land where Graham was, which is just at the back of John on the left hand side, that by the sound of it is 0.6 of a metre higher than the flush bracket, and of course the flush bracket heighting will be known pretty accurately, and that will be up on the web. So we're going to take a GPS reading against the highest ground, and we've now got the height difference between that and the flush bracket, so we can check that in relation to the data on the web for the flush bracket, and then we can compare that to the northern top of Chinley Churn, and it could be a repositioning of summit data for a hump.
It's the least squares fit they've done, presumably at one time, and so it's a calculation rather than a measurement. But we found up to 0.3 wasn't the highest difference.
I was trying the submarine we did. Yeah, that was 0.2 of a metre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Deep in discussion.
There was 0.2 on Ben Tally.
It was 0.2 on Ben Tally, yeah. And Kinder Scout was an anomaly because they don't have a height.
Otherwise it's been quite close, isn't it? Just a centimetre or 2.
Yeah.
That was something that we were really confused about. You look on the Ordnance Survey map, the trig point on Kinder Scout.
So I'll just go back so you can see a general view of the land where we are, up in the peak, close to Kinder Scout, the other side of Glossop, and lovely little ridge on a 400 metre hill and a hump. So I'll leave you with that view.
And here are the results for Chinley Churn, and just to remind you that the official summit of the hump was the southerly summit that has a spot height on the map of 452 metres. To the north on vector mapping there is a spot height of 457 metres, which could therefore make a positional change for the hill. And the results we got are, for the south summit we got a value of 451.79 metres, and that is a small mound next to the trig point. For the flush bracket itself we got a value of 451.46 metres, which agrees extremely well with the OS value of 451.47 metres. The north summit gave a value of 456.96 metres, again very, very close to that vector spot height measurement. And so therefore we can confirm that the summit of Chinley Churn is the north summit, and the hump position has been changed accordingly in the database of British Hills.